Live, and I'm Derrick Day. And the purpose of this is basically I'm recording my podcast live. It's on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. It's everywhere fine social media live streams and podcasts are found. Anyway, uh, I'm excited to be here today. It's the beginning of a new week. Got another opportunity to take on the world, another opportunity to be impactful, to be informative, to be insightful. And so I'm always excited about having that opportunity, and I'm also grateful for everybody who tunes in. So as you're tuning in, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe and then click the bell so that you get notifications. If you're on TikTok, on Instagram, or whatever, please make sure that you are tuning in, that you're subscribing, and that you're sharing, because sharing is caring. And if you find something here that helps you, please pass it on to others that they too might be helped. So, with that being said, today I want to talk about confidence. Confidence is, man, I'm going to tell you something. Confidence is contagious, right? One of the things that people look for in a leader is someone who has confidence in their subject matter, confidence in themselves, and confidence in others. And one of the things that you need to understand is that you can't really convey confidence unless you have confidence. Now, there are some people who have this confidence innately. In other words, they're almost born with it. There's just something about them. And one of the things I marvel at my sons, because they are all incredibly confident. They are the type of kids, I mean, from the time they were little, like, you put them in daycare, preschool, children's church, or whatever, and immediately people would just gravitate toward them without them even trying. They just had this natural sense of confidence. Now, there are two different kinds of confidence. One is that the confidence that um, it's external. In other words, you feel like people give you confidence. In other words, my wife makes me confident. My kids make me confident. My job makes me confident. My knowledge of subject matter makes me confident. And that's all external confidence. But internal confidence is where, in spite of what people say, in spite of what I know or don't know, in spite of my station in life, I know that given the opportunity, I can do it. So those are the two types of confidence. And the important distinction between the two is that external confidence can be taken away. In other words, if someone who believes in you stops believing in you, or if the subject matter expertise that you claim to have hold of, that suddenly it's proven that you don't, or that the winds of change blow and then suddenly your subject matter knowledge is not as valuable as it was, at that point, your confidence can be removed or displaced. And what I want to get to today is how to get to the kind of confidence that is unshakable and unbreakable. The first thing that you need to know about confidence is you have to say, okay, I'm going to make mistakes. This is really key to the whole confidence paradigm, because if you don't give yourself a license to make mistakes, that when you do, your mistakes will take away your confidence. What you want to do is make sure that you understand that you're going to make mistakes. Not everything is going to be perfect. Even the smartest person in the room, even the most capable person is going to make mistakes. And here's another thing too, is that one way of making your confidence contagious is that people in your charge also have to have a license to make mistakes. And one of the things that I want you to know is that just like you shouldn't be cast aside or thrown away or discarded because you make mistakes, you have to be careful not to do the same to others. Giving people a berth, a space to do well or to not do so well is key to imparting confidence to others. And see, that's part of what leadership is all about. Leadership is about imparting confidence to people in your charge. It's empowering them, enabling them to do great things. Matter of fact, if you are really successful at leadership, then what you're going to do is you're going to empower people to do bigger and greater things than you. And granted, that's a violation of Robert Greene's 48 laws of power, one of which is don't outshine the master. But if you are an effective leader and you're not, your confidence is not shaken by the accomplishments of others, then you can give people in your charge a license to outshine you. Man, that's powerful. Because here's the thing, that when you give people a license to outshine you, what it demonstrates is your ability to build leaders. Then think about that for a minute. And that's really counterintuitive because that's not the way it works in most business situations or most social situations where leadership is manifest. But anyway, back to confidence. If you don't have confidence in and of yourself, innate, inherent confidence, then you need to learn how to attain this. And what I mean is you have to learn to be secure in yourself to the point that irrespective of what people's opinions are, irrespective of what people say about you, irrespective about any mistakes that you make, that you remain confident. That you remain, see, listen, when you are confident, you take control over your own narrative. That's amazingly an amazingly powerful concept, because if you control your narrative, that means nobody else can say anything about you that will shake your your character evaluation. What you want to do is you want to, first of all, understand that you have value. As a matter of fact, let's take that a step further. It's more than just you have value. It's actually you are precious. You are invaluable. There is no one else or nothing else like you. That what you have to give to the world is something that no other human being can give or do. Now, there may be people who can do things like you, similar to you, but not exactly like you. You are your own spice, you are your own flavor, you are your own variation, your own variety. And that is something that you have to grasp, that there is nothing else. Listen, here's what you want to do is get yourself to the point that even absent any subject matter expertise that you have, that you know your worth. I think one of the biggest problems is that even people who spend their lives gathering knowledge, gathering information, gathering subject matter expertise, that they are not certain of their own value. And so, even though they might be the smartest person in the room, they might be the sharpest tool in the shed, for some reason, they just can't seem to cross this hurdle of confidence because they haven't assessed and and basically taken hold of their own self-worth. Now, how do you find your self-worth? Well, the one thing again, like I said, you have to understand that what you have to give to the world, no one else can give. This is the amazing thing about humanity is that, people say, well, everybody's replaceable. Well, at a certain level, yes, they are. I mean, you can get a different person to do a job, but you're not going to get someone to do the job just like the person that you had before, or the person that's doing it next is not going to, or the person that's doing it now is not going to do it the same as the next person. They may do it as well, or they may do it less well, but it's going to be different. The second thing that you have to do in gathering confidence is you have to understand that confidence is reciprocal. That if you give confidence to others, this will help bolster your confidence. Not getting confidence, big difference here. Giving, giving, sharing, imparting. And when you're able to give something of such great value to others, you will begin to recognize this value in yourself. You can say to yourself, hey, I know that I am an encourager. I'm someone who helps to give confidence to others. Now, that seems a little counterintuitive too to what I just said, because you don't want to depend on the confidence of others to get your confidence. So others need to also understand their value. And again, here's the really the man, this is the powerful part of this. Okay. If you have confidence and you give confidence, what that's going to do is that's going to actually build and fortify your own confidence, because you're going to see how you're helping others. But as others are giving you confidence, you're not depending on on their contribution to your confidence. All their contribution does, if you're doing this right, is fortifying the confidence that you already have. I mean, and here's the other thing too, is that one of the things that people are going to do as you begin to attain and amass a certain level of confidence is that people are going to conflate your confidence with arrogance. And I'm going to tell you something. Speaking for myself, I get this all the time. I'm not arrogant. I'm not self-centered. I don't think that I'm so suchy much, but I do know that I have value. I know that I'm unique. I know that I provide something that no one else provides. And I'm secure in that. And you could take everything. Listen, I said this in my Thursday broadcast that I've had wealth and I've been in poverty, and I know the difference between the two. But the one thing that I'll say is that no matter how much wealth or how mired in poverty I was, it never shook my confidence. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I'm capable of. And here's the thing. I know that I'm capable of much more than what I'm doing at any given moment. I know that I'm filled with untapped potential. And so are you. You are greater than you will ever imagine yourself to be. You have more potential than you have ever scratched the surface of. When I used to preach, I used to say that I wanted to be like a washcloth or a dishcloth that at the end of my life that I was totally wrung dry, that I had totally fulfilled my purpose, that I completely used up everything that God gave me. Air quotes, by the way, for the people who are listening and not watching. Um, and what I learned is that even when you die, even if you've had a full life, even if you've accomplished great things, even if you've done the incredible, the amazing, the astounding, there's more to you than you actually extracted. There's more, there's always something else in the tank. There's always something held in reserve. And when you understand that, you get to the point where you say, okay, I know that I've gone to this level of my potential, but if you understand that there's always something else, you could say, I know that there's more. If you're on the weight bench and you're doing bench presses, you can say there's one more rep. When you're out running, jogging, walking, you could say, I know that I have one more tenth of a mile. If you're sprinting, you could say, I know I can cut this by a hundredth of a second. There's always more. And when you understand that you are a wellspring of untapped potential, this is something that will bolster your internal confidence. That you can always say, I'm not done. And man, I think about there was a guy who was in medical school during World War II, and he went into the Army Air Corps and became a pilot. And he was successful as a pilot during World War II. And when he got out, he became a commercial airline pilot. And he did that until he retired. And so, after several years of retirement, he decided to go back to medical school. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy, when he graduated medical school, he was like 88 years old. And I think he was one of the oldest medical school graduates in the history of the United States. In other words, he knew that in spite of the fact that he had been a successful bomber pilot in World War II, that he became a successful commercial aviator, that he had raised a family and done great things and had taught other pilots, that he realized that the potential of being a physician was still there. And he had the inherent, internal confidence to go out and do this, because I'm sure that people said, hey, dude, why don't you just enjoy your retirement? But there was something in him that said, hey, I've got more to give, more to do. What do you have? What's in you? What is your contribution to the world? And the other thing too is what undergirds you, what underpins you, what powers you, what gets you out of bed. I've talked about this many times, and I always refer back to this book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. If you don't have that book, you need to get it. But Start With Why discusses discovering your internal purpose, your own personal vision statement, the thing that gets you out of bed every day, the thing that propels you forward through all the muck and mire of life to get to where you want to be. You need to find your why. And when you find your why, and why has to be internal. It can be external. It's not your spouse, not your kids, not your job, not what you know. It's not any of that. It's something inside. It's your own, basically, it's your own narrative. It's your own vision statement. And if you get this, you will develop confidence that is absolutely unshakable. You will develop confidence to the point where people around you will confuse it with arrogance. They'll think that you've crossed some threshold of humility. And let me say this too while I'm here. I think that humility is overrated. I think that uh, you should not hide what you feel inside. And if what you feel inside is confidence, that confidence should express itself in every area of your life. Now, certainly be humble regarding the things that you don't know or the things that you might be weak on. But sometimes your innate confidence will say, I don't know this, but I think I can do this. And one of the things that confidence will do, confidence will open doors for you. And watch this. If you are successful in cultivating your confidence, you will also build your character. So your confidence, excuse me, your confidence will get you through the door, and your character will keep you in that space, or it'll help you grow in that space. That's really, really powerful. So I think that that's pretty much all that I have today. I could say more. I could expound on this further, but the reality is, uh, you know, I'm going to say something here, like, and I don't mean to be patronizing, but don't be shy about yourself, because at the end of the day, you need to be your own champion and your own cheerleader. You need to be first on the list, because if you don't champion yourself, if you don't cheer yourself, you'll find it hard to get others to do so. Because when you can cheer yourself and champion your own causes, champion your own vision, guess what? That's the beginning of confidence. And when you have confidence, other people around you are going to get confidence, because confidence is contagious. So, in the meantime, between now and the next time I get to talk to you, because I think I take this as just such an honor, such a privilege to be able to speak to you guys on a weekly basis. But be sure to tune in on Fridays for Freology Friday, where I'm joined by my co-host Aaron Tomlinson, and we talk about a wide variety of things. We had Daryl Carlson on last Friday. It was really exciting, really great show, and then also, be sure to tune in on Sundays for Forward Live, and also make sure that you subscribe and you get notifications for those times when I do impromptu lives, because every now and then I get inspired in between sessions. And these are, man, I think that these are the ones that you really don't want to miss. Okay. So until the next time, Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I love and appreciate all of you. Please be sure if you have any confidence, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to inbox me and I'll answer any questions that you have. And if you feel like you're lacking confidence after this, again, feel free to inbox me because I want to share with you tips and tricks that I know that will help you attain, maintain, and retain your confidence, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. Okay. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Peace and hair grease.